everybody. What's up? Trey Wingo here. Welcome into another edition of Straight Facts Homie, the podcast where we don't yell at you, we don't scream at you. We definitely don't want to have an argument with you. We just want to tell you what's happening in the world of sports based on this really interesting concept called data, forecasting, and information. If you see anything you like here, we think you'll like a lot of it. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button because we've got a lot of great stuff to get into today, including some devastating news if you're a golf fan of a certain age about Tiger Woods. On Saturday, Tiger Woods put up on his Instagram and Twitter feed that once again he was undergoing the knife, a back surgery to help with his L4, L5 disc. He said in that post that I am convinced that this is going to be something that is the better for me in the long-term interest of my health and my golf game. But what does it mean for golf fans going forward? Because, there's that really sort of popular, silly Instagram meme. Men only want really one thing, and it's disgusting. And the answer is, yeah, we want to see Tiger win another major. I mean, that's what most of us really want. And with this news, I'm not sure that's ever going to be a possibility again. It's another back surgery for Tiger. The things that he's had to go through to come back from all of his injuries and the things that he's had to do with some of the other things that have gone on in his life, including the car crash a couple years ago, right around the Genesis Open, and obviously an incident around Thanksgiving weekend over a decade ago. There's been a lot of wear and tear on that body. There's been a lot of surgeries that we know about, and if we're being honest about it, quite frankly, some that we probably don't know about. So Tiger Woods is going to turn 50 this December, right? And you just wonder if this last surgery is going to be the one thing that is going to finally say to him, you just can't compete anymore. Because we've gone out there over the last couple of years in between these surgeries for Tiger Woods and seen him on the PGA Tour at certain events, at the Masters a couple of times. And since the car crash in 2021, it's really hard to watch him try and walk 4 rounds of golf. There was a couple of years ago at the PGA where it was a cold day and he was walking down a hill and his leg buckled and it just bent in a really awkward way. That leg is barely hanging on there from that car crash a few years ago. And I've had tour players tell me if Tiger would just take a medical exemption, if he would just take a medical exemption and get a cart, he'd probably win 3 times a year on the PGA Tour and maybe find a way to bag another major, which would be his 16th as a professional, to go along with the 3 U.S. amateur titles that he won in a row. But he won't do it. And I just think that this last surgery might be the exclamation point or the sad comma or the period on Tiger Woods' competitive career. And for people that aren't, say, 40 or over, and they have, I've heard things about Tiger. I heard that he was really good. No, he was the greatest motherfucking player I've ever seen in my life. And I had the privilege of watching Jack when I was young and seeing some of the things that he's done. But even Jack would tell you he never had Tiger's short game. Jack has said that, on the record several times. Now, Jack is going to go down as the greatest player to a lot of people because he's won the most majors. That's no way around that. And if that's your go-to, I can't argue with you. I'm telling you, I'm not sure I've ever seen a more complete golfer than Tiger Woods, and maybe the most dominant athlete I've ever seen. So what we're going to try and do here is put into some context what that means when people say something like that. Because people are like, John Rahm was good for a while, and Scotty Scheffler, he's doing really interesting things, and none of them compared to what peak Tiger was like. So I'm going to try and read off some stats just so people understand how significantly better Tiger Woods was at a game that you cannot dominate, and he dominated like no one I've ever seen in the history of the game. Just to give you an example. Again, he'll turn 50 in December. So with this back surgery, it's really, really hard, yet another one, to think about him coming back and being really, really competitive. So just so people understand what the Tiger Woods experience was like if you weren't old enough to actually see it and comprehend what it meant in real time. And again, a lot of these are from my good friend Justin Ray, who does amazing work on his own website and his own company. If you don't follow Justin Ray on golf, and if you like golf, you should. He'll make you smarter. At Justin Ray Golf on X and Justin Ray Golf on Instagram. So here are now the peak numbers we talk about when we're talking about how good Tiger was, okay? From 1997 to 2009, That's a minimum of 70 rounds. How much better was Tiger Woods over a 13-year period than everybody else in major play? Well, from 1997 through 2009, again, a 13-year run, Tiger Woods' collective score at the majors was minus 134. Second place on that list, the guy closest to Tiger's minus 134, was Phil Mickelson at plus 99. To put that in perspective, over a 13-year run in which Tiger bagged almost all of his majors, outside of the U.S. Open in 2008 and the Masters in 2019, he was 250 strokes better than anybody else in those 4 majors. Over a 13-year period, okay? That's what we're talking about this. How about this? Tiger is the only player since 1950 to win the same PGA Tour event 4 years in a row. He's done it twice, Bay Hill, 2000 through 2003, and the Buick Invitational, 2000 to 2008. From the 1999 PGA, where he won his second major, through the 2001 Masters, Tiger's finishes in majors over that time frame: win, fifth, win, win, win. So in other words, he had 4 wins in that time frame, and only 4 players finished ahead of him combined in that time frame from 1999 to 2001. Wait, it gets a lot better, okay? Just some of the other things. Win percentage on PGA Tour with an outright 54-hole lead. In other words, you have the lead after 3 rounds. Can you cash it in on Sunday? The PGA Tour, a couple of years ago, the average was about 41.5%, 41.48 in 2022. The PGA Tour the last 10 seasons, about 42%. The guy that has the lead after 3 rounds goes in to cash in and win the championship. Tiger Woods in his career, 95.7%, 44 for 46. He only didn't do it twice. He only didn't do it twice in his career. Tiger Woods is credited with 41 career wins on the European Tour, which is now the DP Tour. That's the 3rd most all time. Now would be a good time to tell you he never competed full-time on that tour. Not a single time. And he's 3rd all-time in career wins. From the 1999 Memorial through the 2001 Memorial, Tiger Woods won 20 times in 40 official PGA Tour starts. He then did it again, winning 20 times in 40 official tour starts from the 2005 World Golf Championships American Express through the 2008 U.S. Open. He was batting 500. 500 over those time frames. You win 4 times, you think you're a legend on the PGA Tour. Dude was racking them up half the time he teed them off. It gets better. There are only 2 instances of a player since 1900 winning a men's professional major by 10 or more strokes. Tiger Woods has both of them, and they were both by 12 or more. The 1997 Masters and the 2000 U.S. Open, when he was 12 under and second place was 3 over. The difference between first and second place was 15 strokes, and he was the only one under par. That's the kind of magnitude we're talking about. From 1999 through 2007, Tiger Woods played in 17 World Golf Championship stroke play events. He won 12 of them. Tiger was 188 under par in those events. 131 shots better than anyone else. Jim Furyk with 57. There's Tiger and there's the field when Tiger was at his peak. The field is so far away from Tiger, you can't even see the field from where Tiger is. It's not a line, it's a dot. That's how far away it is. He just dominated everything he set his mind to. Tiger Woods is also only the current player under the age of 50 with 25 or more career PGA Tour wins. He won his 25th career PGA Tour title more than 2 decades ago, 2001 at Bay Hill, and no one has come close to him at this point. In the last 60 years on tour, there are 3 instances of a player winning 5 or more PGA Tour events in a row. They belong to Tiger Woods 7, Tiger Woods 6 in a row, and Tiger Woods 5 in a row. Peak Tiger Woods was the most dominant experience I've ever seen in covering sports for 40 years. We'll never see it again. Scottie Scheffler is beginning to do Tiger Woods things. But as Brandel Chambly has told you on Straight Facts Homie, the difference between Scottie Scheffler and Tiger Woods right now in terms of career accomplishments is about the same as Tiger Woods against everyone else he played at when he was at his peak. we got a long way to go before anyone will catch what Tiger Woods has done. And I don't know if we'll ever see it again. And that's why that 2019 Masters Championship was just a remarkable one. It was the first time in his career he came from behind on Sunday in a major to win. And it was the last major he won. And it might be the last major he'll ever win. So when someone does the definitive Tiger Woods career movie, the final scene will be Tiger winning the Masters at 2019. Then they'll fade to black and say, after this, Tiger went on to do yada, 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 including winning the Zozo Championship a little later to tie Sam Snead for the most career PGA Tour wins. But that's the end of the scene crescendo moment. And I think most people that have been Tiger Woods fans and just been in awe of the things he's been able to do need to come to the realization that this is probably the end of the competitive road for the most competitive, dominant athlete we've ever seen. And that's straight facts only.